This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview. Welcome to the Research Talks podcast here on Stockbox with Alan Green on a Good Friday and, of course, the Easter Bank Holiday weekend. How are you doing, Alan, this weekend?
I'm fine, thanks, Mark. Yeah, it's a lovely sunny day here, so bodes well for the Easter weekend. Just hoping we do have a bit of a break next week, so we're off down to the New Forest, just locally. So, hoping it holds. But the long range forecast is looking a bit touch and go at the moment. So I'm just hoping we don't get rained on all week. But there we go. That's the joys of holidaying in England, or staycationing.
And staycationing, yes. Well, at least the weather's looking good for the bank holiday weekend because, of course, as investors tend to get a little bit withdrawal symptoms and bored, don't we, when we don't see things moving up and down on our screen. And if the weather's nice, we can get outside and actually have a life.
yeah, it's important to have a life outside of or away from the screens and the stock market. But I think that's it, Mark. The nature of what we do. We're always checking our phones. We're always looking at the collection of or the portfolio to see how the stocks are doing and see how the investments are faring, and it's just it's part and parcel of what we do. Really, it's part and parcel of our psyche. So nothing unusual there.
Nothing unusual, no. So the two companies you're going to talk to us today. The first one's AEX Gold, of course, a Greenland-focused gold exploration company who making significant waves. It seems, just having a chat with the guys, doing a couple of interviews recently. And an IPO as well, or pre-IPO, I should say, Lift Global Ventures, which sounds interesting. So I'm looking forward to hearing what they're about. So do you want to start us off with AEX?
AEX, of course, yes. Well, listeners will know, of course, that I interviewed the chief executive, Elder Olafsson, back in January this year, and he was a fascinating guy. Really, he worked as a geologist in Greenland for some years, and is very familiar with the territory. But the company AEX Gold, of course, dual listed on AIM. The EPIC code is AEXG, and TSX listed as well, so dual listed. And watchers will no doubt have seen the share price leap in recent days, certainly to year highs at 44p. Of course, off year lows at 24p, and that gives the company a market capitalization in Canadian dollars anyway of 125 million Canadian dollars, which is about 60 to 70 million sterling. So, a very sort of healthy market cap, but with very good reason. The company is, as I said, Greenland based, and it has the largest portfolio of assets of any exploration company in South Greenland. It's a district scale, a district scale portfolio of licenses and assets. And of course, I talked to Elder Olafsson in detail about this when I spoke to him in January, and he was very excited about the company's flagship project, which of course is in the 100% owned Nalunaq gold mine, which is right down in the southwest, on the southwestern tip of Greenland. So the assets are based within two known regional gold belts, and this geology runs all the way through from northern Canada through Greenland and into Scandinavia. So they're very from a geological standpoint, they're well known. They're easy to identify, but I think it's the grades that I'm going to go through the grades shortly, and of what's already been discovered there, that really does set this company apart. I mean, it's part of the attraction of for companies in Greenland is that the Greenland government are very supportive of the mining and exploration industry, and of course with if it can be viewed as a positive of global warming, is that with the glaciers retreating slowly, a lot of land previously hidden by permafrost is now on view, as it were, and of course opens up the opportunity for exploration. So the Greenland government, knowing this, are very supportive. There are many grants available. There are many sort of attractive tax breaks economics, and in particular from a sustainability standpoint. If you employ the local community, which of course AEX Gold do, there are some very attractive tax breaks on offer there to exploration companies. So onto the Nalunaq Gold Mine. Now, I should say, of course, the AEX Gold itself was founded in 2015. So Elder and his team have been working on these assets for some time. The Nalunaq Gold Mine is historically it's a producing mine, and there is $100 million, some 100 million Canadian dollars already invested into the roads, the infrastructure, the tunnels, the equipment on site. There's a camp, of course. If you go to the AEX Gold website, there's some very striking photographs of the camp situated down on the bay there. The current mineral resource estimate for Nalunaq is 250,000 ounces of gold at a grade of 18 grams per ton. Now, that's 18.5 grams per ton. That's a very high grade indeed. I mean, if you look at a lot of companies that have gold assets, if the gold asset is over a gram per ton, then that's reportable. But anything at this sort of level is completely different. Elder and his team believe that the exploration potential there is up to 2 million ounces, and certainly the drilling results reported on April 4th do seem to bear that out. It's very exciting indeed. So it's when I was talking to Elder, I asked him to sort of explain, and we looked at some modeling that the company had done of the Nalunaq deposit, which is on the side of the mountain. And during the campaign and during the research that was undertaken, Elder said we identified it was a bit like a big slice in a cheese sandwich. It was like a slice of cheese in a sandwich running down the mountain. And as the drilling work was undertaken, of course, they're passing through this slab, if you like, of cheese or gold, and certainly this was through the drilling work that they've undertaken. They were going through this deposit again and again, and on the basis of the work that had already been done, they realized that they had a further fourth high gold grade zone. And of course, on the results that were reported on April the 4th, they intersected this main vein structure, the cheese sandwich, if you like. 33 holes, 27 of those holes delivered better than expected returns, and in particular one hole, hole 21044, intersected half a meter at 139 grams per ton. That's a weighted average across all of the sampling from that hole of 61.4 grams per ton. And those are terrific numbers. That's really, really impressive. On the back of the numbers that they've developed, and of course this drove the share price higher, as investors will no doubt have seen. But on the back of that, along with SIK Consulting, AEX Gold are working now on a new mineral resource estimate. So I think we can expect that 250,000 ounces of gold, 250,000 ounces of gold will be very much at the bottom end of the scale. And I'm sure Elder and his team will be incredibly excited if we can get anywhere near 2 million ounces. But of course that remains to be seen. But that's just part of the story. And of course, as I said, the infrastructure is in place. There's a sampling plant that can process up to 350 tons per day or higher, and the infrastructure is really in place for this to happen. So there are a number of other assets that the company is involved in as well. The main gold belt that runs through the southwest tip of Greenland is the Naantalik gold belt, but a lot of the assets are on the edge of the gold belt, and what the company is finding is that these are prospective for other metals, certainly metals to power the global energy transition. One of the assets is Sava, and this is to the west of the Nalunaq, and Sava was initially through groundwork, prospective of copper, gold, zinc, graphite, nickel, rare earths, and molybdenum, and others. We had a report back just a few days ago. Sava historic grades from survey work that had been undertaken there. Historic grades of 3.4% copper, 3.7% zinc, 0.28% molybdenum, and also a gold sample of 382 grams per ton, which is quite exceptional. 100 grams per ton of silver, and also some niobium. So traces of rare earths there as well. And this is undertaken, or this was derived from airborne surveys, mapping, rock chips, geochemical work, all of which identified what the company referred to as the Laurasian Mineral Belt. And this is one of the belts that runs through Canada, Greenland, and Scandinavia, and really does provide the company with a new target to go after, as well as developing Nalunaq. So it's hardly surprising that the share price has risen because aside from having a gold mine that has an established asset and infrastructure, they've now got this new asset, which is prospective for battery metals. In addition to that, the most easterly asset is Nanoq, and that was discovered by Gold Corp in 1998. Sampling and groundwork there revealed a gold sample which weighed in 175 grams per ton. Again, very prospective. The Vagar Ridge asset, which is also gold, which delivered an incredible 2,500 grams per ton from rock chip samples. Then we have the Tartak or the Tartok asset, which is 104 grams per ton, and this is part of the Archean Gold Belt, and this was discovered on surface at Tartok. And then the Sarka asset, prospective for platinum group metals, gold, nickel, cobalt. The Copper Mine copper mine, which is a mine that was previously in production with copper, and then of course the Noriam asset, which was discovered 2 years ago, and is prospective of graphite. In fact, sampling there revealed between 10 and 14% graphite on the ground. So there's a whole raft of assets really that are owned by AEX that they will be starting work on this year. So the news flow is incredibly exciting, and I think certainly, even buying at this level now, I think with what is expected to come from the additional increase in the mineral resource estimate at Nalunaq, the further work on Sava, which is they've already established metals for the global energy transition, and the other assets in the group too, all do give a very good and very upbeat outlook for the year. And certainly that's the view, it seems, of non-executive David Neuhauser, who bought 63,500 shares at 52 cents on February the 11th, and bought a further 27,500 shares at 53 cents on February 17th. So support there from the board in going forward. But I think Elder and the team are on the cusp of something very exciting here, and I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more from this company in the coming weeks and months.
Excellent. They certainly do seem to have got off to a good start, don't they? And lots of exploration going on, and very, very positive vibes coming from that company, I think.
Yeah, and if you look at Greenland, and I was talking to somebody about this about Greenland recently. Of course, the tragedy is with global warming. A lot of the land that was previously hidden by glasses is now accessible, and of course with that there are untold assets under the ground there. So I'm sure as this process continues, we're going to see more companies moving into Greenland, particularly because the government there are so supportive, and a lot of the local community working there now will be experiencing working with mining companies and exploration companies. So yeah, there's a potential, I think, for a real boom in the Greenland economy on the back of all this.
Great. Okay, thank you, Alan. So let's talk about a different company now, completely Lift Global Ventures.
Yeah, well, Mark, of course, we work in communications. We're in the financial media sector. Both you and I at different levels, working in different ways, and I think it's fair to say that it is certainly we've seen a real boom in recent years with the use of social media and the way we communicate. To investors, the investment propositions for various companies. But I mean, if I go back prior to this, I mean, I founded a company called Share Crazy in 2000, and we developed a financial community. Alongside that, we added a share dealing platform, and at the time we were charging £9 per share to trade shares. £9 per trade to trade shares, and we were dovetailed with a platform that offered it for less. But because we had this community, we were gaining market share just as quickly as they were, which was quite ironic. So we sold the company in 2007, of course, and I moved on, and brand communications developed from that. But certainly, there's been, I think, an opportunity for consolidation, and that was probably highlighted recently with Aberdeen Asset Management, their takeover of Interactive Investor. And of course, with Share Crazy, originally, Interactive Investor was a series of bulletin boards alongside that and just a financial community website. But they developed their offering, and they added in trading, pensions, and it became a destination website where you could go and trade everything, and obviously, hold your portfolio there, and the complete range of services just built up the nascent value in the company to the point where, as I say, Aberdeen Asset Management paid £1.5 billion for it. So that I think does point to a consolidation opportunity in the financial services sector, and Lift is floating on the Aquis market in order to take advantage of that. And Zach obviously has been around for many years. I mean, I've worked with Zach going back many years. In fact, Zach sold a TA business he had years ago to the fund management group that bought Share Crazy. So consolidation is nothing new in the sector, but I think with the evolution of social media and technology as we see it today, there are new opportunities available. So what Lift are going to do is build a financial media and technology group, and they're going to put together these disparate elements and pull them into one. Zach is very keen on looking to return cash to shareholders and investors because, like me and like you, Mark, we're investors, so we know what we want to see from a company. Zach's got the same view, so he's very much looking to get money back to shareholders as soon as is practically possible. So the company's coming to market with a market cap of just over 2 million. I interviewed Zach yesterday. You can see the interview on our YouTube channel, or go to the brand website. You'll see it on the homepage there, branduk.net. There is the company, the IPO date has been announced for April the 29th, but there is a short window of opportunity if investors believe, as I do, in the opportunity that exists in the sector. Investors can still get in at pre-IPO level. The IPO level will be 3p, but investors getting in prior to that get a 3-for-1 warrant at 6p. So if you buy in and support the IPO, then obviously if the share price goes up on the back of greater value to be delivered, which Zach will be working very hard to achieve, then of course that will happen. So again, there's a short window there. If you just go to liftglobalventures.com or liftgv.com website, go to the contact details there and put your request in, or I guess speak to your broker who can help you also. So there's a board behind the team as well. Zach obviously is chief executive, and Tim Daniel is the FD. I met Tim before Christmas last year. He's a very, very, very nice fellow, very, very knowledgeable, and he's very much involved in the day-to-day running of the business. Paul Gazard is the chairman. Of course, Paul needs no introduction. He's very well known in the city. He's on the board of many AIM-listed companies and other companies. And also on the subject of AIM or Aquis, I did ask Zach why Aquis and not AIM, and he said it was quite simply that obviously with the minimum market cap requirements now to float a company, a lot of the opportunities I think have been taken away, and even Aquis have changed their benchmark now from 700,000 to 2 million minimum market cap, which is probably fair enough, but nonetheless, I think I think the opportunity on Aquis is great. I've spoken, of course, about the Aquis exchange on our podcast beforehand, Mark, and I think the way Aquis are developing as an exchange, the question that's sort of on everyone's lips, of course, is when will we get electronic trading? When can I trade Aquis shares directly without having to phone up? Well, that day is getting nearer and nearer. But I think also that if you want to own shares badly enough in a company, then yeah, it's great to be able to go online and execute that trade. But actually, putting in a phone call, you can get the same job done in a few minutes. So it's not a huge step on to do that. But anyway, in summary, if you're interested in participating in the Lift Global Ventures IPO, it's April 29th, but you will need to contact your broker or contact Lift Global Ventures via their website within the next week to ensure that you can participate in the IPO.
Okay. And what would the plans be for the company then post IPO, Alan? You talk about consolidation. So what, looking to acquire certain companies and build a sort of a conglomerate?
Yes, they are. Absolutely. And of course, we've seen, as I said, we've seen this over the years. We've seen there are various financial media companies like Incisive Media and others over the years. There are opportunities to put together companies that offer offer something different in the sector. And I gave the example of what we did with Share Crazy, and of course, Interactive Investor have took that much further and created a business of great value. So Zach and the team will be aiming to do the same with Lift Global Ventures, to put together a series of websites but also that they're not looking to buy blue sky technology businesses necessarily. They're looking to buy companies that are cash generative, that are generating plenty of cash. So of course, when those go into the mix, the economies of scale can prevail, and other opportunities will open up as a result of putting 2 or 3 companies together.
Okay, and the capital raised will help accelerate business ops in these companies.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, they've already raised 2 million, but there is an opportunity for investors to get involved still if they want to go in pre-IPO. And as I say, that warrant is it's a nice thing to have at 6p. Of course, if you're in the IPO at 3p and the shares pop up to 10p, then you've got the additional benefit of the warrant on top.
And in terms of revenue generating them, could that come from multiple angles? Subscribers, ad revenue, or just clients?
Yeah, well, if you put these, I mean, for instance, in our business, Mark, of course, our clients will pay a retainer or a fee or a pay-per-play arrangement. There's a whole raft of ways of doing this, and some of that can be in stock, some can be in warrants or cash or however it's put together. Obviously, with the trading businesses, there are commission per trade deals available, and certainly a lot of the established brokers like Hargreaves Lansdown, the commission rates haven't really changed, but I think a lot of people just don't really care about that. They just want to get the trade executed and done. So it can be very lucrative, and it depends on I know the average numbers of trades per quarter does fluctuate a lot, and you can get very quiet times, but of course you still have the assets. That there are ways that the company will leverage or may leverage fees on the on cash on deposit or leverage a management fee. That there are all sorts of ways to do it. And then of course, if you've got say a website like ADVFN or like LSE, you've got lots of website traffic, so you can serve ads to those traffic and generate advertising revenues through the ad services as well. So there are all sorts of ways of putting financial revenue streams together from these businesses, and of course the opportunity exists when you put them together to leverage up into other areas.
Excellent. Okay. So April 29th, keep an eye out. So not too long left if people want to participate in the IPO. But hopefully it all goes according to plan and see what the company has to offer.
Indeed.
Well, thank you very much, Alan. And I wish you a very good and all our listeners a very nice bank holiday weekend.
Indeed. Happy Easter, Mark.
Happy Easter. If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.